So I've got arches, a 10 by 14, 100% cotton, of course, rough textured paper, 140 pounds. So when it comes to the colors that I'm feeling for today, and let me just see if this whole thing is in the screen. Perfect. I've got both my clean waters, which will eventually turn dirty. I've got this calligraphy brush, but to start, I'm also gonna need this one. Here's my towel to dab messily on. Okay. Okay, colors I am feeling today. That I do not know actually. So in order to see how I feel, I just need to look at my colors. Okay. And I'll just see what stands out to me. Today has been a whirlwind of a day, and I have not liked it. I have way too many paints though, so there's never too many paints, by the way. I also have my Japanese ones, but those I would have to grind them, and I don't feel like it right now. So in light of the chaos for today, I'm thinking a bright Chinese red is probably one of the things that I would want. But do I want the complementary green? That I'm not so sure about. So what I'm gonna do is grab my little notebook, and for this, I think I may just have to experiment and see what colors feel right, you know? So, I already have some Chinese red on my biggest little palette, so I'm just gonna go ahead and mark it here. And then when I think of what to add right next to it, let me consider this green. Do I want green with this? I don't think so. At least if not this green. I do have a different one. Let me see. Oop, hold on. Perhaps that was too much water. I don't see the potency of the color. They're almost the same, but they are different. And I know this one can turn into like orangish, but I don't think I want the complementary green in there. So no, let me do the red again, but this time, maybe so I can test more colors. I'm gonna, might be weird, but okay. So I'm gonna try purple. I have this beautiful purple that I don't really use a lot. It's a possibility. I also have brilliant orange. Oh, I'm actually feeling kind of orange and purpley today after looking at that, because that's beautiful. But I also have a permanent deep yellow, which is like orangey yellow. So I'm just gonna, that would go well with the red. Okay, I think I may need one more color to try to test out. And I'm just going to have that be cobalt blue. I just bought a new one, so hold on. Yeah. All right. So basically the primary colors. Okay. So Chinese red, primary yellow, royal purple, cobalt blue. Great. Those are the colors I'm using. So I'll just hit that there in case I ever want to experiment some more with maybe mixing. I want to go ahead and wet all of my brushes decently, especially my biggest calligraphy brush. It easily gets matted. So it's still so new and it's really like stuck connecting together. So, and then I've got this. All right, once more. All right, I think we're good to go. I've got my spray bottle that I'm going to use. And I've still got colors left over in here, but that's all right. I'm just gonna, whatever. Move it over and put my cobalt blue here. Don't know how much I'll need. I'm gonna put the royal purple on the opposite side of it. And then my Chinese red, which I could have used alizarin crimson, primary yellow. Okay, all right, time to get started. And hopefully I can just release, because this whole week has been so hectic and I still have one day of work left and I'm not very excited about it at all. So I'm going to, do I want to put this on this? Yeah. I'm just realizing how little space I have, even though I still have plenty. Oh my gosh. Okay. I legitimately be wearing this on myself, y'all. Okay. So I think I'll spray a little bit, maybe some areas more than others. And then I'm just going to take this brush and maybe get just a couple spots. So I think the first color I want to go in with is going to be that bright Chinese red. So let me just go ahead, and you won't be able to see me doing this, but today has been a whirlwind of a day. Somehow I managed to write "hua." Kind of, sort of. This line kind of throws it off, but still, that's what I see. I swear that was not on purpose. So now we have that, and I'm just gonna wipe a lot of this off, and then I am gonna go through, I think, some of it and just like see if I can get more of this here. Yeah. Alrighty. I actually don't want to add any more red for the time being. Yes, that was fast, but Anyway, I'm gonna get my other calligraphy brush, and we are going to add a bit of my primary, what did I say, primary deep yellow by Rockwell into it. Where am I putting it exactly? That I do not know, so I'm just gonna go with what feels correct and just dab it into these areas. Yeah. I'm just gonna get all my water dirty, so I really don't care where I put this. I'm gonna just going with what feels right, and I want it to be in here before it branches out into its own thing, like now, into this beautiful orange, which then I'm hoping I can then transition to okay. All right, I've got no orange on this other side, so let me go ahead and do that really quickly. At least I think that's what I want to do, is bringing it over. I think I want to have it touch here. Yeah. And we're going to have this start to curve a bit. Okay, also just going to put this over here. Put this over here. All right, time to add a disturbance color is what I'm gonna call it. Okay. Okay, I'm just going to, I think in certain areas, I want to really get the purple shining through. This water seems a bit soapy. Okay, down here, I do need to get some more potency. Alrighty, oops, right over here. Okay, I don't know if I want the purple to cross over into here. Let me think about it. I think that may be as far as I want it to go. Okay, yeah. Okay. You know, I grabbed this cobalt blue, but I'm wondering if it's even necessary now. I would hate to not use it because I already brought it out, but if something is unnecessary, then it's just unnecessary. Because let me just, I'm gonna just put it on this paper and see if it's going to bring something that I may feel is missing. I think it could still be used. Let me see. Actually, that's, yeah. Yeah, okay. It could be inside the purple, but maybe barely coming through on its own. Like a little there, a peekaboo over here. Boop, boop. Okay. Got it. Yeah. Now I think I just want to turn this a little bit and look at it from this POV. I think with this area right here, I know you shouldn't go over stuff again, but I'm not trying to change what's here, like fix a mistake. I'm doing something on purpose. Because I don't want that purple to be completely non-existent over here. So there we go. And then I'm just going to re-add this in here. Whoop. To bring a little bit of the vibrancy back that I lost, maybe from not having the proper technique, but that's okay. 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 Now I'm going to turn it this way just for a moment. Okay. Then this way. Wonder if I can. Not really, but I'm gonna. Yeah, I'll put this back over here. There we go. Well, that's fine if that happens. Sorry, I meant to start it from there. Okay. 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 Boom. I don't know if I like it from this view better or from this view better. But yeah, I'm trying to figure out things to do with this paper because I genuinely don't like it. At least when I was doing portraits, I wasn't feeling it. So yeah, so we're just gonna leave this alone for a moment and then we'll come back to this mess. And I'm gonna get a smaller thingamabobber, which is now my little notebook. I mean my watercolor journal where I have so many things in here. This is still like one of my favorite things that I've done thus far because I was just like, what was I thinking? I don't know, but I love it. I also don't know what I was thinking with this, but it was fun and I got to use 3 different mediums, so you know. And then the other day I just did this, which I think it's upside down actually. But yeah, sometimes I just embrace my inner child and make art. Like not everything that we create is, in my opinion, needs to be created with the intent to look good, which don't get me wrong, even when we don't have that intent, things can still look good. Like to me, I think this looks good. Is it something that I would like sell? No, but I had fun doing this. And that's the most important thing. This was a way for me to relieve stress, not a way for me to, quote unquote, as the rest of the world would say, create art. This is art regardless, but the intention was to have fun, which I feel like sometimes people forget about. So anyway, this is my watercolor journal and I'm going to now be inside it on this page. And I'm just going to sit this, kind of tilting my thing sideways, but I'm going to use the same colors. Instead of starting with red this time, I'm going to start with the blue. Yeah. And I'm actually just gonna like make a couple of wet spots on the paper instead of spraying. And now I'm going to hold on, I'm just seeing something that I didn't notice before. Okay, so I've got the blue completely in here, and we're gonna start like this. So now I'm just gonna do that again, but and again, this is just going off feeling. So in my shift today, I very much got overwhelmed. And I took a break for literally 14 minutes. And then I was like, okay, I'm back. I'm ready to work. Because I was just so overwhelmed by all of the rude customers and it was just a lot. But, you know, the show must go on. And so I took that break that I needed and got back. And not only did I come back, but I decided to work out while working. So I have a walking pad. It doesn't do anything to impede like my actual work. And because it warps just a tiny bit. I'm gonna let it do that, what it's doing too. That's great. I've got some texture makers. So we are going to first continue with a bit more purple in some areas. Maybe like there. Alrighty. And honestly, I know a lot of people might be like, oh, you're making such a mess like on this thing. That's what I want. I want to make a big mess. So then I have this little texture thingy, and I'm just going to okay, here we are. And I think it'll be like maybe more soft up here for whatever reason that I don't know at this current moment. But there we are. So they're more big, more bold down here. I wonder if this end will give me anything bigger or different. Okay. Well, pretty much the same. Okay. There we are. That's the last little bit that I'm going to do, except right here, which is pretty much a failed attempt. I don't want to use the others. Their shapes are not fitting, I don't think. So now I want to drop in my I just have to think about this for a second. Because I see an eye right there for whatever reason, so we're gonna have the eye right there. And then I'm going to continue on with whatever I was going to do, which I'm not exactly sure what I was going to do, but that's okay. There's another eye for whatever reason. I'm just trying to see if I see anything, for a moment, just taking a second. Lovely. I'm not sure if doing this is the right decision or not, but it's just paper. That's what I have to remind myself every time I end up doing something and I'm like, yeah, I don't know how I feel about this. I'm like, hey, it's just paper. So what if I just ruined it? Especially if it's just for me and not for anyone else. Like, what am I concerned about? So I think what I'm going to do in this area that I feel like I may have messed up, I wonder if I can just soften everything and if that will help. Or just kind of pull away some of that pigment. Is so strong. And I think that's part of my problem with what I've done in this area. So, like, to me, that's already better. Even this is better. I just need to continue. Okay. And even just, there we go. Yeah. It's much better in my opinion. just soften it up. And I still want to try a little bit more in this area. Another area to hopefully soften up. Okay, now I feel like I'm just not going to do anything to this area because, oh my God. And sometimes I also just like to sit and do things like this because a lot of times we may be afraid to do something because we feel like we don't have the technical skill to do it. But I am a firm believer that even if you don't have the technical skills to do something, that you should still do it, jot down the idea, because at the end of the day, it's going to take you putting in that time to become creative and to just tap into that part of yourself that I believe you will build to the point to where you are finally able to do such a thing. Anyway, I feel like I shouldn't do anything else for the time being. This needs to dry and we'll come back to it and see what we see when we come back to it. So I am going to put this to the side. So we can come back to the first thing. I can tell it's still not dry yet. I'm probably gonna have to put a blow dryer to it, which is fine, I suppose. Alrighty. That's all we need. Who needs the rest of that? So I really don't know what else to do at this point. But honestly, a lot of times I don't know what to do. I just do what I feel and then put it away, call it a day. And I just rhymed. And I feel like I really don't need to add any more paint at this current moment. So I'm going to see how I feel about charcoal. Okay. Also still learning how to use charcoal, so I have no clue about that. What do I want to do with this charcoal? I think I know what I want.